Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
We were discussing about different cell organelles, and last day we learned about lysosomes, vacuoles, and mitochondria. So tell me about mitochondria, Gaya. What have you learned about mitochondria?
They are the powerhouses of the cell
And why do you call them the powerhouses?
because they release energy by breakdown of ATP.
No.
Then
They release energy and it will be stored in the form of ATP molecules. So it is a site for energy release. Okay, you know that aerobic respiration is taking place in the mitochondria. So they will release energy and the energy stored will be in the form of ATP molecules. And as and when the cell requires energy for different activities, these ATP molecules will break down and releases energy. That is why you call ATP as the dash of the cell. Lakshmi, ATP is known as the dash of the cell. Anybody is remembering what I told you last day? Devi? ATP molecules are known as what?
Energy unit.
Energy? Energy what? Next word is important. Yes?
Energy currency.
Energy currency of the cell, because whenever we need to satisfy your needs or when you need to buy something, you spend currency and get the things done. Similarly, in the cell, these energy currencies will be used up for carrying out different activities. Then mitochondria is having a double membrane. What is special about the inner membrane, Sarah? What is special about the inner membrane?
The inner memory have enfolding that is called cristae
Christine?
towards the matrix.
Hmm.
They increase the surface area.
They will help in increasing the surface area for energy releasing activities. Okay, now we are going to learn about the next organelle, plastids. What are plastids? Anything you remember what you had learned earlier? I'm sure that nobody might have read 9th standards textbook in spite of saying it repeatedly. Tom, can you tell me what you know about plastids?
It's a cell organelle.
Yes, we are learning about cell organelles. Can you give an example? Very common example for plastid found in plants.
A chloroplast.
Chloroplast. What is the difference between chloroplast and chlorophyll? How are they different, Meherin?
Chloroplast is colored and plastids are colorless.
I asked difference between chlorophyll and chloroplast. Anybody can answer? Difference between, you have heard both these words, chloroplast, chlorophyll. How are they different? Meherin, can you? You know the answer? If you think what is chlorophyll, you can say. Malavika?
The chlorophyll is stored in the chloroplast.
Chlorophyll is stored in the chloroplast. What is chlorophyll?
Green pigment.
That's the answer. So chlorophyll is the green pigment. And this green pigment is present in a plastid known as chloroplast. Chloroplast is an example for a plastid. It's the organelle. Whereas chlorophyll is a pigment present inside that organelle. Okay, that is the difference between chloroplast and chlorophyll. So there are different types of plastids. So let us learn about these different plastids. So today I'm not going to remind you to turn your videos on. I'm leaving it to you. Rest I will see what is to be done. Plastids are found in plant cells and euglenoids. Already you have learned what are euglenoids in biological classification you had learned in detail. These are found in plant cells and euglenoids. These are large in size and they contain pigments. They are large in size and they store different types of pigments. So pigments are stored within it, which will provide specific colors to the plants. You know that plants are differently colored, and the reason or why these different parts are differently colored, fruits, flowers, leaves, all these are having different colors. These colors are due to the presence of plastids in the different parts of the plant. Based on the type of pigments present, plastids are of three types. You can categorize them into chloroplast, chromoplast, and finally leucoplast. In some books you can see chloroplast given under chromoplast, but as per your textbook, in certain books you can see these three are considered three separate types of plastids: chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. Chloroplast, only green colored plastids are included under that. Chromoplast means colors other than green, orange, red. So different colors, other colors are included, or other pigments are present in chromoplast other than the green pigment chlorophyll. And leucoplast, leuco means what, children? Leuco meaning, word meaning of leuco. Leukocytes. What are leukocytes? Erythrocytes, leukocytes, platelets. Now you might have got an idea. What are erythrocytes and leukocytes? Anybody can say? Erythrocytes also you haven't heard? Red blood cells. Erythro means red. Erythrocytes are red blood cells. Leukocytes, white blood cells. Leuco means white or colorless. So leucoplasts are colorless. They don't have any pigments. Whereas chloroplasts have green pigment. Chromoplasts, these are colored plastids with different pigments. Chloroplasts contain chlorophyll and carotenoid pigments. Carotenoid pigments will be, when compared to chlorophyll, carotenoid pigments will be less in concentration. These carotenoid pigments are responsible for giving orange, red colors, etc. And they trap solar energy to carry out photosynthesis. That is why only green plants can perform photosynthesis, because only in green plants chloroplast or chlorophyll is present. You know that non-green plants cannot perform photosynthesis because chlorophyll is a prime requirement for carrying out photosynthesis. Only if it is present, the solar energy can be trapped and can be converted into chemical energy. Chromoplasts are colored, contain fat-soluble carotenoid pigments like keratin, xanthophylls, etc. They are responsible for giving yellow, orange, red color. So the same pigment is present in beetroot, carrot. So all these colored vegetables, you can see these pigments, carotenoid pigments. And such plastids containing carotenoid pigments you call as chromoplast. Then comes leucoplast. These are colorless, means no pigment present, and they can be of different shapes and sizes with stored nutrients. They help in storage of nutrients. Leucoplasts, they are concerned with storage of nutrients, and depending upon what is getting stored or what are getting stored in them, accordingly they are of different types. Amyloplast, salivary amylase. Amylo signifies some carbohydrate component. So amyloplast, they store starch. Remember salivary amylase. Salivary amylase will act on starch and convert it into sugar. So amyloplast are for storing starch. Eleoplast. So from this eleo itself you can make out oil. If you rearrange, you can pick out words and you can write it as oil. Eleoplast. So why I'm saying all this is, I know it doesn't make any sense, but for you to remember it. Oil. So elaioplast. O-I-L. So they will store oil and fats. Aleroplast, they are for storing proteins. So depending upon the nutrients stored in them, they are of different types and they are of different shapes and sizes too. Amyloplast, elaioplast, and even for aleroplast, proteinoplast also can be called, but the name given is as aleroplast in your textbooks, so follow that. Once again, plastids are of three types: chromoplast, chloroplast, and leucoplast. Chloroplast, they contain the green pigment chlorophyll along with some carotenoid pigments. Their function is to trap solar energy. Definitely they are giving green color to the plant parts. They trap solar energy so that the solar energy can be converted into chemical energy by means of photosynthesis. And chromoplasts are colored plastids. They contain carotenoid pigments like carotene and also xanthophyll, and they will give or they impart different colors like yellow, orange, red color, etc. to the parts of the plant. Then leucoplasts, they don't contain any pigment. They can be of different shapes and sizes, and their main function is to store different nutrients. And depending upon the nutrients that get stored in them, you can categorize them into three types: amyloplast, elaioplast, and also aleroplast. Elaioplast for storing oils and fats, amyloplast for storing starch, and proteinoplast or aleroplast will store proteins. Okay, children? Can I proceed?
1 minute.
Okay. Carry on. Next. Mainly chloroplast is found in the mesophyll cell. So now we are going to learn in detail about the green colored plastids or chloroplasts. So as you can see, these are the chloroplasts found inside plant cells. So you can see them in the mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells means the cells present in the interior. Actually, there are two types of mesophyll cells. You don't have to learn about it. Palisade parenchyma and palisade parenchyma, I think you know. Palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. So these are the two types of tissues coming under mesophyll. So you can find the chloroplast in the mesophyll cells, the cells present in the interior below the epidermis, upper and lower epidermis are found. So in between, mesophyll cells are present, and it is in these mesophyll cells that chloroplast is present. Can be variable in shape. So the shape of chloroplast, you cannot generalize and say, so all will be of this or that shape. It can come in different shape. It can be oval, spherical, discoid shape, or ribbon-like. For example, in Spirogyra, it is ribbon shape. The chloroplast is ribbon shape. So depending upon the type of plant, there can be different shapes for chloroplast. Their shape, not only their shape, the length as well as the number also can differ. In some cells, for example, Chlamydomonas, it is a unicellular alga. So there only one chloroplast will be present in each cell. Whereas when it comes to green algae, 20 to 40 chloroplasts are found in each cell. So the number, you cannot generalize and say that these many number only will be present. So the number, shape, length, all these will differ depending upon the plants. They are also having a double layered membrane, outer membrane and inner membrane, but this membrane is less permeable, or these membranes are not freely permeable, will not permit free movement of substances across it. It is less permeable. Once again, chloroplast can be seen in the mesophyll cells, that is the inner tissue present beneath the epidermis, or in between the epidermis, mesophyll cells are found, and these mesophyll cells contain chloroplast. The number of chloroplast, the length of the chloroplast and its shape can be different for different cells. And they are provided with a double membrane, inner and outer membrane. Then, now here you can see a section of chloroplast, a cut section or a cross section of chloroplast, so that you can see the contents inside very clearly. And what you see is so many just like structures similar to stack of coins, like coins when you arrange one above the other. So you can see several such stacks of coin shaped structures, and these are interconnected also. You can see structures which are stacked one above the other, coin like, or structures shaped like coins stacked one above the other, and these are interconnected also. So each stack is connected with the other one. So structures are there which are interconnecting these stacks. And there is a matrix also, or inside the chloroplast there is a matrix. You call it a stroma. Stroma is a space enclosed by the inner membrane of the chloroplast. So inside or bound by the inner membrane, you can see a space or a cavity, and there small double-stranded circular DNA molecules, ribosomes, enzymes, all these are present, which are essential for carbohydrate as well as protein synthesis. You know that just like mitochondria, plastids are also grouped under the strange organelles. Already we discussed last class, mitochondria are known as strange organelles. Similarly, plastids are also known as strange organelles. Why? Anybody can remember why they are known as? Nimida, why do you call plastids also as strange organelles like mitochondria? What do they have in special to make them strange? They have their own
Genetic material.
genetic material and they have their own DNA. And what else do they have? Last day only we learned about mitochondria. There I had mentioned. Yes? Louder? Ribosomes. They have their own, these two structures, these two cell organelles, mitochondria and plastids, both are having their own DNA and ribosomes. So what is the advantage? They can synthesize their own proteins. DNA can give a command and ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. So they can synthesize their own proteins. So within that cavity, or within that space which is enclosed by the inner membrane, different substances are there. DNA, ribosomes, enzymes, etc. are present, which are essential for both carbohydrate and protein synthesis. Carbohydrate synthesis is taking place in photosynthesis, and protein synthesis also can take place because of the presence of ribosomes. So all the enzymes required for that, ribosomes, DNA, all that can be seen in this stroma. Then thylakoids. So the next part is known as thylakoid. Now let's see what is meant by thylakoids. Thylakoids are flattened membrane-bound structures present in the stroma which contain chlorophyll pigment. Okay. Once again, thylakoids are flattened membrane bound. These structures, what you see here. So these structures, what you see here, each one is known as thylakoid. Flat, membrane bound, sac-like structures, and it is inside that the chlorophyll pigment is present. Grana. The difference between thylakoids and granum is singular, is that thylakoid is that membrane bound flattened sac-like structure. Individual units you call as thylakoids. When several thylakoids are stacked one above the other, you call the pile or that heap of each stack of thylakoids you call as granum. Once again, granum. What is granum? The stack of thylakoids arranged like the piles of coins, that is known as thylakoid. Sorry, that is known as granum. Once again, the difference between thylakoid and granum. Thylakoid is the flattened membrane bound structure present in the chloroplast which contains chlorophyll pigment. A stack of thylakoids which are arranged one above the other, just like a pile of coins, you call it as granum. Several thylakoids constitute one granum. Grana is plural. So the different parts of the chloroplast, it has got two membranes, inner membrane and outer membrane. Bound by the inner membrane, there is a cavity or a space consisting of different enzymes, ribosomes, genetic material, etc. That is known as stroma. And scattered in the stroma, you can see certain membrane-bound, sac-like, flattened structures. You call them as thylakoids, and they contain chlorophyll pigment. Thylakoids are arranged one above the other, or they are stacked one above the other, just like a pile of coins. So each pile of these thylakoids you call as granum. So several such grana you can find in the stroma of chloroplast. Okay, can I change? Now next is stroma lamella. Stroma lamella are membrane-bound tubules. Lamella itself means a membranous flattened structures. And in the previous figure, I told you that these grana are interconnected. So everywhere you can see some structures which are interconnecting these stacks of thylakoids. So here they are interconnected. So you can see some membranous structures or flat structures interconnecting these stacks. And that is known as stroma lamella. Stroma lamella are flat membrane-bound tubules which are interconnecting the thylakoids of different granum. Different grana. Grana plural, granum singular. So thylakoids of different grana are interconnected by means of small tubules or tube-like structures, membranous tube-like structures which you call as stroma lamella. Don't get confused between stroma and stroma lamella. Stroma is the cavity enclosed or space enclosed by the inner membrane where you can find ribosomes, then genetic material and different enzymes. Whereas stroma lamella is a structure which interconnects the thylakoids of different grana. So you learn so many new terms, don't get confused. Stroma, thylakoids. There are chances that you get confused between thylakoid and stroma, granum, stroma, lamella. So I'll repeat all the points once again. So that rhyming words or similar words I'll repeat once again. Stroma and stroma lamella. Stroma is a space enclosed by the, all those who did not understand, please listen again. Stroma is the space present bound by the inner membrane. So within stroma or within the stroma, you can find enzymes, genetic material, ribosomes, etc. So being a strange organelle, I told they have their own genetic material, their own DNA and ribosomes, by means of which they can synthesize their own proteins. Then stroma lamella. Stroma lamella are thin, membranous tubules. What is its function? To interconnect What do they interconnect? The thylakoids. Thylakoids of different grana. So this is one granum. This is another granum. And these two, the thylakoids of these two are interconnected by means of stroma lamella. So stroma is a cavity enclosed by the inner membrane, whereas stroma lamellae is plural, lamella singular. Stroma lamellae are the structures or are the thin membranous tubules which interconnect. What do they interconnect? Thylakoids belonging to different grana. Now, what is granum? Granum is a stack of thylakoids. Thylakoids, when they are arranged one above the other, they form a stack, just like a pile of coins. And each stack you can call as granum. And what are thylakoids? Thylakoids are flat membrane-bound sac-like structures present in the stroma. And what do they contain? Chlorophyll pigment. Then lumen, the space enclosed by the thylakoid membrane. So the cavity within the thylakoid, that is known as lumen. Lumen word meaning is space or cavity. So lumen is a space enclosed by the thylakoid membrane. The space within the thylakoid is known as lumen. The ribosomes of chloroplast are smaller than that of cytoplasmic ribosomes. I had told you in the previous class that in prokaryotic cells, the ribosomes present are 70S, but in eukaryotes, 80S. In spite of that, the organelles like mitochondria and plastids present within the eukaryotic cells, they have 70S ribosomes. But the ribosomes attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, and those which are freely present in the cytoplasm, they are of 80S. Prokaryotic cells, 70S ribosome. Eukaryotic cells, 80S ribosome. But in eukaryotic cells, organelles like mitochondria and plastids have 70S ribosomes. That is why it is mentioned the ribosomes of chloroplast, just like that of mitochondria, smaller than that found in cytoplasm. Functions. You know the function of it. It is trapping solar energy for carrying out photosynthesis. They can synthesize their own proteins because they have their own DNA and ribosomes. Children, any doubt? Do you have any doubt? So I can wind up, no doubt. No slide you want to see again. Any slide would you like to see again? No. Say yes or no. Alentina. Atulya, would you like to see any other slide? Or can I stop sharing?
This slide I didn't write.
This one. The current one. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
They will help in trapping solar energy for carrying out photosynthesis. You know that it is because of this reason that only green plants can perform photosynthesis. And the next function is that they can synthesize their own proteins. How is it possible? Because they have their own DNA and ribosomes. Okay, Adulya?
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you show me the slide of the chloroplast, first slide of chloroplast?
First slide. Okay. This one, no? Nimida?
Thank you.
Okay. It is mainly found in mesophyll cells and its shape, length and number can be different for different plant cells. And they are having a double membrane structure with an inner and outer membrane. Is that fine, Nimida? Nimida? Okay. Now we can summarize the points that we learned. So we learned in detail about the structure of chloroplast. So where can you find this chloroplast? In which cell? Sarah? Sarah? Where do you find chloroplast? In which cells of plants?
In mesophyll.
Louder?
Mesophyll.
Mesophyll cells. You can find them in the mesophyll cells, and it's a double membrane structure. We learned about different parts of chloroplast. What is meant by stroma? Malavika Prabil, what is meant by stroma?
It is the space enclosed by the inner and the inner membrane of the chloroplast.
And what are present? What are the things present? Which all substances?
The double-stranded circular DNA, ribosomes and enzymes.
Enzymes. And Gaya, tell me what is meant by thylakoid, or what are thylakoids?
They are membrane-bound sacs present in the stroma.
What do they contain?
Chlorophyll pigment.
They contain chlorophyll pigment. And then we learned about granum. Elaine's video is stuck. Emmeline, what is meant by granum? Yes.
Thylakoids are arranged in a stack. It's known as granum.
So each stack is known as granum. So several such grana you can find in chloroplast. And what about stroma lamella? Anishwara, what are stroma lamellae?
The flat membrane bound tubules which connect a thylakoid of different grana.
They are known as stroma lamellae. And what is lumen? Meherin, what is meant by lumen?
It is a space enclosed by the thylakoid membrane.
Okay, good. And I told you that plastids are strange organelles. Why do you call them as strange organelles? Sanjana, why do you call plastids as strange organelles?
They have their own ribosomes.
Correct. They have their own ribosomes and
They can synthesis protein.
no, along with ribosomes, what else they have?
Genetic
Material. Which genetic material? DNA. So DNA can give the command and the proteins can be synthesized. Which is the other organelle which is having ribosomes and DNA? Devi, yet another organelle with the same structures.
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria, same structures. By that what I meant is presence of DNA and ribosomes. And two functions also we learned. What are the two functions? Lakshmi, one function.
They synthesis proteins. They have their own this DNA
And ribosome. One more function, Alandina.
It helps in trapping solar energy.
For what? Why the solar energy should be trapped?
Photosynthesis.
To carry out photosynthesis. And we also learned about 3 types of leucoplast. Annelies, can you name them? Only names.
Ma'am, 3 types of leucoplast.
Anyone?
Correct.
Amyloplast. Repeat.
Protoplast.
First one you repeat again. Amyloplast. Then second one, what did you say? Once again.
Amyloplast. Then amyloplast.
Elaioplast, amyloplast and eleuroplast. How do they differ in the storage of nutrients? Shabari, how do they differ in terms of the nutrients stored?
Amyloplasts store carbohydrates.
Louder?
Amyloplasts show carbohydrates.
Yes, they store starch or carbohydrates. Then
And Leiomplasts show fats or oils.
hmm,
And Leiomplasts show proteins.
proteins. Okay. So now let me take your attendance. So thank you, children. See you next class.